trusting God in the unknown. Good morning, brothers and sisters. Today, I want to talk about a journey we all know too well, walking with God into the unknown. Life is full of uncertainty, and as much as we might try to control or predict what comes next, there are moments when we simply have to surrender and trust that God has a purpose, even when we can't see it. Let's start by considering a moment from the Bible where God calls someone to step out in faith into the unknown. In Genesis 12, God speaks to Abraham and says,
"Go from your country, your people, and your father's household to the land I will show you."
God didn't give Abraham a detailed plan, nor did he tell him exactly where he was going. God simply said,
"Go."
And Abraham went, trusting that God knew what he was doing. Imagine the faith it took for Abraham to leave everything he knew. He left his home, his family, his comforts, and everything familiar to step into the unknown, trusting in a promise that had not yet been fulfilled. Yet, because Abraham trusted God, he became the father of many nations, and God's promise to him was realized in ways Abraham couldn't have imagined. Now, I don't know what each of you is going through today. Maybe you're facing a season of uncertainty in your life. Perhaps it's a decision about your career, your family, your health, or your future. And like Abraham, you feel God calling you to take a step, but you're unsure of what lies ahead. You're standing on the edge of the unknown, wondering, can I really trust God with this? Let's look at what the Bible tells us about God's nature. In Jeremiah 29 verse 11, God says,
"For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you and not to harm you, plans to give you hope and a future."
This is a verse many of us know well, but sometimes it's hard to believe when life feels chaotic or out of control. We might ask, "Lord, if you have plans to prosper me, why am I facing so many challenges? Why does the future seem so uncertain?" But here's the key. God doesn't ask us to understand every step of His plan. He asks us to trust Him, even when we don't have all the answers. Proverbs 3 verse 5 to 6 reminds us, "Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways submit to Him, and He will make your paths straight." This is a powerful promise, because it tells us that when we let go of our need to control and submit our lives fully to God, He will guide our steps. It's in our nature to want control. We like to plan, prepare, and know exactly what's coming. But faith often means letting go of our plans and embracing the mystery of God's timing. Think of the story of Moses and the Israelites in the wilderness. God led them out of Egypt, but instead of taking them directly to the promised land, He led them into the desert. For 40 years, they wandered, often questioning and doubting, wondering why they weren't reaching their destination. Yet, through those years in the wilderness, God was teaching them to depend on Him daily for provision, guidance, and strength. The Israelites had to learn what it meant to trust God for daily manna, not a month's supply, not even tomorrow's meal, but just enough for today. Maybe God is doing the same in your life right now. Maybe He's calling you to trust Him one day at a time, rather than worrying about what's ahead. One of my favorite verses when it comes to trusting God is Psalm 46 verse 10, where God says,
"Be still and know that I am God."
This verse calls us to a place of peace, a place of surrender, a place where we stop striving and start trusting. To be still doesn't mean we do nothing. It means we choose to rest in God's promises, even when our circumstances are unclear. Let me share a story with you. Imagine a young child holding their father's hand in a dark room. The child can't see anything and is frightened, but as long as they hold onto their father's hand, they feel safe. They don't need to see what's ahead. They only need to trust that their Father is leading them safely. In the same way, God holds us in His hands, even in the darkest and most uncertain times. He's our loving Father, guiding us, protecting us, and leading us forward, even when we can't see the way. You might be in a season right now where everything seems uncertain, But God sees your future as clearly as you see this present moment. He knows where you're going, and He has a purpose for every step along the way. Isaiah 41 verse 10 offers us a beautiful reminder. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. In moments of uncertainty, remember that God's presence is with you. His strength is sufficient for you. You don't have to face the unknown alone. He's by your side every step of the way. And lastly, let's remember that every season of uncertainty has the potential to deepen our relationship with God. When we have nowhere else to turn, we learn to lean on Him fully. When we can't rely on our own understanding, we learn to rely on His wisdom. When we don't have the strength to carry on, we learn to draw from His strength. It's in these moments that our faith grows, that our relationship with God becomes real and alive. So, as we leave here today, I want to encourage you to let go of the need to understand everything. Embrace the journey with God, even when the path is unclear. Trust that He is leading you, guiding you, and working in ways you can't yet see. He is the God who knows the end from the beginning, and His plans for you are good. May we all have the courage to trust Him more deeply, to step into the unknown with faith, and to know, without a shadow of a doubt, that our lives are held securely in the hands of a loving and faithful God. Thank you, and may God bless you.